Hey there, what's up? What is over there? My name is Verena Lake and welcome to my channel Melanated Messages. If you are new here and if you are a returning subscriber, hey girl, thank you. I appreciate you for that. So you're probably noticing that I already have my base done for this video, which is typically something that I don't do. So I'm going back to the roots. I'm just going to be bringing you straight hooded eye tips today. So today is all about the eyes, so that's why I just took the liberty of just doing my base first, because that's not what I'm going to be focusing on in today's video. So if you want to get all the tips, the hacks on the tea on how to actually slay makeup on your hooded eyes, real tips, then definitely keep on watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so that you never miss an upload, honey. I got you. All right, so I did my base, but I purposefully did not prime my eye because I actually wanted to show you guys that process. And why is priming your eye important? I have made several videos about this already. If you are not following me on Instagram or Facebook, you wouldn't know that, which is why you need to. Links to my other social media in the description. I am _melanated messages on Instagram and just melanated messages on Facebook, same name as my YouTube channel. So definitely go ahead and check all these videos that I have there for you to get more information. But just as a basic knowledge, we prime our eyes so that our shadows can last longer, apply smoother. But especially for hooded eyes, it's important because if you don't prime it, then your eyeshadow can actually crumble or build up together in the folds of your eye. So that's why it's important for us especially. This is my duo of what I use to prime my eye. This is the washable eye glue stick from the Crayon case, and this is Warm Honey from the LA Girl Pro Conceal. So I'm just going to put some on the back of my hand. As you can see there, it's actually yellowish orangish. I thought this would be white, but it's not. And then I just warm it up a little on the back of my hand and then put some on each eye. Now this does dry down clear, so don't be worried about it actually being this color. In all honesty, I've used this by itself, like just experimenting, and I don't feel like it's doing the job the way I really want it to, which is why I always mix a little bit of this in it, because this actually dries down more, so it's not as like polishy feeling, and it actually gives me more of like a blank base. And you don't forget, you want to get some like under your eyebrows, because we are going to be putting shadow there. So then after I do that, I would just take that and like place it over my eye. So now that we have a healthy dose of that, again, I like to use my finger to do this. You can use a brush if you want to, but I just prefer the way that it blends out with my finger. Again, don't forget to get under that eyebrow, because if you just prime only your lid, then you put the shadow here and it can have one hue, and then under your eyebrows where you didn't put the primer will actually look different. So you want to just get this all over. Now, what I used to do before, when I didn't even know I had hooded eyes at the time, was that I would just do this and jump straight into eyeshadow, which is something I still see a lot of people doing. And the reason behind that, or the logic, is that you're using the eyeshadow, since eyeshadows are powders, most of them, to set the concealer, which makes it grab onto it and gives you more pigment. And while that does make sense, I noticed again it wasn't the best thing for hooded eyes again. So it's actually better from my experience, and I've seen other people with hooded eyes do this, to set your primer with powder so that you can have like a smooth matte base to go in and do your eyeshadow, and it actually helps it to blend out better. So next, I'm just going to be taking this compact powder that I have to set my eye, and like I said, to give it that matte finish that I was just speaking about. So I just take the powder puff, again making sure the scissors bend it out, and then just go straight in like that. Same thing here. And you don't need a lot. From the time you notice like the shine on your eye is gone, then it's like you've placed enough powder. And you want to do this evenly so that it doesn't cake up on you. Okay, so I've brought you guys in a little closer at this point because now we're actually going to be starting with the eyeshadow. So now I'm going to be taking my MacBook palette and using this shade here to apply it all over my eye. And just as a quick hack, guys, if you have an eyeshadow palette that doesn't actually have something that you can use as a transition shade or is the same color of your skin, you can just use your compact powder if you have one. That's just a little hack just in case you don't have it. I do believe in making the most of what I have. So I'm just going to be taking this brush, dipping into that color and going over my eye. And just excuse me if you see me leaning to the side like this because that's where my mirror is. But I'm still gonna be watching you. And you can see that I'm focusing this on my eyebrow because you know the struggle for us hooded eye girls, we don't have a lot of lid spaces, so we actually have a little excuse to bring up our eyeshadows like very high. So and I still want it to be as blended as possible, so then I am putting it there. And I'm just going to put some in my crease too. So now that we have that on, for today I'm actually going to be using this Rimmel London eyeshadow. Now this is something I've had for years. It was actually something that my grandfather sent to me and I've never really used them, but I'm going to be doing like almost like a green smoky eye today. So I'm just going to be using some shadows from this. Now I'm going to be taking this color here and applying it right there. I'm going to take this brush, which is similar to the one I had, but it's a bit denser. Okay, so this is like a forest green almost. It looks very dusty. Not what I was hoping for, but let's see how it's going to look. Now the next tip is that you want to keep your eyes open. This is something that I always tell you guys, and it's not just for fun or because I like to run my mouth. I mean, I do, but it's not just for that. You want to keep your eyes open as a hooded eye gal, because if you keep your eye like this and you apply eyeshadow, you're going to spend a bunch of time doing that, and when you do open your eye, it's like poof, the eyeshadow is not there. So keep your eye open and you just want to first push this in, not too much to the point that it would like hurt, but just so you can see where that eyeshadow is going to go and look like when you actually have your eyes open. So I actually like the way it's very subtle, but I like the way that it's coming out. So, and you can see I'm just pressing this. The eye look is going to be pretty simple today, like real quick. So after I have that pressed in, I'm gonna do the same thing to the other eye. Now I'm not going too much on the outer corner because there's another tip that I want to give you guys, so definitely keep on watching. Again, same thing. Notice we're not blending yet, we're just pushing that product in. And of course, after you've put down that first color, the next thing we're going to do is blend it out. We don't play Tetris over here with our eyeshadows, okay, sweetie? So if you're new, take note of that. period. Okay, so going back with the brush that we first used to put down the transition shade without taking any more product on it, I'm going to go ahead and go right on the edges there of where that green was. Now you can stretch your eye, don't be afraid to do that, to bring it up, but you're going on the edge of that green. So then you can still appreciate some space between the shadow and my eyebrow. Do the same thing to the other side. Okay, boom, so now we're done. So now we're going to move on to the next trick. So now you don't need to get laser procedures, you don't need to get surgery or whatever thing they're using to lift hooded eyes. And you don't need all that. You can literally just use eyeshadow to give yourself a natural eye lift or make your eyes look more open or lifted for hooded eyes, and that is what I'm about to show you next using this 7 technique or trick that is very effective. I did say earlier that this is going to be like a smoky type of look, so I'm going to dive into the black from the matte book, but that color is actually kind of ashy. Well, not ashy, but it has some fallout, so I'm just going to take my powder and put like a light layer of that under my eyes. No, I'm really not doing too much, but just so it can catch if anything falls, because the last thing I would want is to have black all over my cheek, like looking like I just came out from a fight or something. Okay guys, so I brought you in a little closer again, and I actually applied the black eyeshadow in the corner of my eye off camera, but I did it in a circular motion, and that was purposefully because I'm going to show you what the 7 trick is. So now, just to make this more beginner friendly, this is just like a plastic sleeve that came with my eyeshadow palette. Now you can use this, place it on the side of your face like that so you can get that really sharp edge, or if you want you can just use tape traditionally, but I don't like to use tape anymore because I don't like the way that sticks to my face. Or if you know you're more of a pro or intermediate, you can just freehand what I'm about to show you, but just for all the beginners out there. So I'm placing it on the side of my face like that at an angle, and I'm taking the eyeshadow and then I'm going on this side. Now you see, when you start to drag it across like this is where you really get that 7 number from. So it's actually a backward 7. And you can brush it against it just so it's straighter. Do you see the 7 shape? I could cut somebody with this. So now, can you see the difference? My eye hair, I'm not even done yet, but my eye hair looks more elongated and more open simply because of the way we place the eyeshadow as opposed to me just doing it in a circular motion. And now I'm just going to take that without adding any more black, because I'm going to put a shimmer here, and actually I'm not going to put the shimmer here, which brings me to my other tip, which is using shimmers on hooded eyes to make your lid appear bigger. So just let me do this. So essentially with the 7 technique, the outer part of your eye on the top here under your brow would be the highest point of where your eyeshadow is, and everything else is just gradually coming down. Now because you're using a darker color on the outer corner to do this, it's actually giving your eyes some more depth. Lifted on cloud 9, ground 0. Lifted, ground 0. So you can skip the surgery, you can keep your coins, you can stop feeling bad about your eyes. You're not cursed or anything, you just didn't know the proper techniques. Okay gals, so now it's time to put our shimmer. I already put some of my MAC mixing medium on the back of my hand, and I'm going to take my flat shader brush and just do this like so. it's not going to be a cut crease or anything like that. I'm just going to put the shimmer on my lid. So this is what I'm using as my base, taking it all the way from my inner corner here. And the purpose of the MAC mixing medium is to prevent transfer, and it also makes your shimmers and pigments more vibrant. I'm going to be using this color right here called Mali from this palette, and I'm not going to drop the name because I don't actually support the brand. Although it is black owned, I don't feel like they fairly represent black creators and influencers. So if you know the name of the palette, then kudos to you. If you don't know, I'm sorry. And then I'm just going to pat this. I usually just go ahead and like swipe it, but I'm just gonna try to pat it this time. You know, sometimes in my opinion, swiping is just so much more effective. And that's why I didn't put the first shade all over my eye when we initially started, because I intentionally left a space for the shimmer. If you notice that it looks a bit more white or iridescent on the center of my eye, it was because I took this one and I didn't really like the way it looked, so then I end up taking the lighter one and just gently patting it over the green, just so that when I move my eye, it can have a bit more of a shift to it. Do you see it? Do you see it? You see it? I know you do. Now I don't want to move my eye around too much while I'm doing this to prevent the transfer. Now what you just saw me do there was actually just take more of the MAC mixing medium to put it on top of the shimmer as a second coat, and this is what really locks that shimmer or glitter in so that it doesn't transfer. And then when this dries down, I'll be able to like move my eye all over without it going anywhere, since she is not gonna clock out and leave us early. Now just because we appreciate a good blend over here, I'm going back to the brush that I used to put the black, and I'm actually going to drag or gently pull on the edges of where I put that shimmer. And if you find doing it sideways is not very effective, you can always just pull it down or do it in like a vertical direction. You can even take more black if you would like. Okay guys, so we're almost done with the do and don't, and I'm just about to wrap this up. So now I'm going to take this lime green shadow situation over here and then apply it to this eye to demonstrate how it would look if you don't put a shimmer on your lid. Not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but using a shimmer on your lid for hooded eyes is what actually makes it look more open. So I'm just going to, and I'm using this little flame brush. Now when I got this in my new brush set, I didn't know what it was, but turns out a flame brush is just a brush that you can use to apply powder products. It blends it out evenly, and I did actually make a post about that on my Instagram, so definitely go ahead and check that out if you want more information. Ooh. Can you guys see that? That lime green definitely has a lot of kickback and fallout, and I did like dust off the brush. This is my first time using this color from the palette, so Just letting you guys know. So I'm really just like pressing it in as opposed to like swiping it. Okay guys, well that wasn't very fun. I did not put down enough powder to protect me from that. I wasn't, the black didn't even do that to me. So I'm just going to dust out the excess powder that I put and the fallout. Again, using the same black brush, doing the same thing on this side, just to blend those two colors. Okay guys, and I am back. So I went ahead and just added some mascara, and now I have one last tip for you guys. I am really just giving you like tips on tips on tips on tips. Let your cup run it over with all this makeup game. Now for mascara, there is a little technique for hooded eyes. What you don't want to do is just take the wand with your face like this and just brush up. Maybe if you have another eye shape, you can probably get away with that, but because our eyes are hooded, this extra skin from our brow bone is eventually going to get in the way, and if you just keep brushing upward, it's going to hit it like right there, and it's going to mess up your eyeshadow. What you want to do when you're doing it on your top lash line, slightly bend your head back, tilt it up. You lift your eye and then you do this. You can place it on your lash line, wiggle it, and then pull it, or close your own eye. And for your bottom lash line, you can either place your finger and do this, or if you don't really want to touch your face to mess up your makeup, just tilt your head forward this time, put it on your lash line, gently wiggle it, and just pull it down. Now you're tilting your head to create extra space between your lash line and your face so that the mascara doesn't touch your face and mess up your makeup. So this brings me to the end of this very educational video on hooded eye tips specifically. If you found this video helpful or you got value from it, all I ask in return is for you to just like this video, share it with your friends, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that other people can get these hooded eye tips as well. Don't forget to follow me on my other social media, Instagram, Facebook. Oh, and check out my podcast, the Melanated Messages podcast. That's where I really give you guys all the tea, like the social tea. Okay, honey? I recently finished season 1, so you can go ahead and listen to the finale, and season 2 will be starting soon. Probably by the time you see this tutorial, season 2 just might be out, but the links to all that is down below. And I just want to tell you guys that your hooded eyes are beautiful. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise, and as you can see, it is very possible to do these looks on hooded eyes. And if the makeup artist cannot do the look on hooded eyes, then he or she ain't a makeup artist. There, I said it. Take it to the bank, period. Okay, see you guys in the next video.